And yeah, okay. Hi, everyone, and thanks for tuning in to the Zea Time Chat, the podcast by Gen Z for Gen Z.
I'm your hostess, Sophie, with Marin. I am what tea are you drinking today, Marin? I am drinking this awesome Trader Joe's pomegranate white tea. Yeah, what are you drinking?
Yeah, I love how you dropped the Trader Joe's in there in case someone was like, oh my gosh, what brand is that? Where can I get it? Good.
Well, I really want Trader Joe's to sponsor me at one point, so yeah. I shop there way too much.
That would be a goal if we got sponsored by Trader Joe's.
Imagine.
I went out tonight and I looked like a Trader Joe's employee because I was wearing a red Hawaiian shirt on top of a hoodie, and I was just, it made me miss home. Anyway, the tea I'm drinking, I'm actually drinking chamomile tea, even though it's 5 a.m. in the morning, but I just sort of wanted to be soothed a little bit, so.
Okay. I was going to say we should switch teas because it's night for me, but then really early morning for you. So yeah, that would probably be ideal. I was also going to say, I think I'm getting more exotic with the teas I'm drinking because of this podcast. I started off very basic with jasmine, but I wanted to keep it spicy for all the listeners out there. So I was like, oh, new pomegranate white.
I think I'm going to have to go invest in some new tea flavors to mix it up. The tea flavors.
Yeah.
Types of tea.
Types of tea flavors. I mean, if you get the powdered stuff, that would probably be correct, wording of that. But we don't condone powdered tea drinking here.
I didn't actually know powdered tea was a thing except matcha. But you can get powdered tea?
Yeah, where it's if you're making the big pitchers, you could get a big pot.
Right.
Yeah. Like the Crystal Light. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I don't consider that tea.
Yeah. I don't think anybody should. Anyway, Marin, how's life been going? It's been a while since our last episode.
Yeah, I feel like we had a little bit of post-election just debrief, some quiet downtime after all of the
much needed.
Yeah, most definitely. I think last time we talked, it was before the results even came in.
Yeah, it was. I remember because we clicked off and I was still, having panic attacks.
Yeah. So in case you were unaware, we have a president-elect, and it is not Trump. And so the world is a little bit brighter for that. And if you weren't aware of that fact, what are you doing? So
yeah, I thought it would be a little bit weird to announce it because people should know being, helpful to all of our listeners. Yeah. We weren't aware who the next, most powerful person in this country is. There you go. I know, or maybe they're, one of the people that are denying it. So, which is still happening, which is great,
I could go on such a long ranting tangent about that, and I was like, oh God, okay, no, don't, Marin, move on.
Okay, how is your life going? Back into the check-in.
So long as I don't think about democracy deniers, my life it's going pretty good. We're not in a full lockdown here. We're in partial lockdown. We just had Thanksgiving, which, I mean, we could go and talk about how sort of screwy of a holiday that is, but for the moment, it was just sort of nice to sit around a table with friends and people you love and just share a meal. Obviously, I was not home with my family, but I was here with my other family, so it was really nice. I just feel like I've very much settled into the whole remote, every social distance, everything, which feels very strange right now.
Well, that's good though. I mean, I'm still kind of at the stage of how am I gonna deal with this? And it's the end of, the first semester, which is amazing.
I mean, it definitely comes in like waves of I'm okay, and then I am freaking out.
Yeah. And I think there's a lot of like factors that go into that, you know.
Yeah. How have you been?
I've been pretty good. Very stressed out for the end of the semester, but you know, that's kind of basic student life.
Yeah.
Personally, I've been doing pretty good though. I got a car, which is awesome. I'm very, very happy about that.
Woohoo! That's so exciting. What kind of car is it?
You'll see me cruising down the street in a very cute Volkswagen convertible.
Oh my god.
Which has been my dream for forever. It's very hippie-y, which is very my vibe, as a lot of you could tell. I'm just living my best life in my adorable Beetle. So that's awesome. That made my like month. Besides that, I mean, we're not really getting out. I mean, we're San Jose, which is where I'm living right now. We went back into the purple tier, which is surprisingly worse than red. Like they should have stressed that a little bit, because I was like, oh, purple, that sounds nice. That sounds like that's better than red, right? But no, it's not. We're back in the purple tier. So even if like you wanted to go out, you know, there's still that like huge scare that, you know, a bunch of people in my county are getting cases every day. So, you know, that's fun. Been watching a lot of Say Yes to the Dress though because of that. And so, you know, that's kind of like a consequence. I don't have a boyfriend or a girlfriend, but I know what wedding dress I will have.
And that is the priority, is it not?
Yeah. I will marry myself if I need to. Because I'm so invested in this show that I already have, you know, the designer and model of the dress. But yeah, so besides that, everything is in this side of town is going well. But so tell us more about your Thanksgiving, Marin. Like, how did that go?
Well, it's extra complicated because I'm in a different country. So I had the option to celebrate it or not. But I chose to, and it was very unconventional because it usually Thanksgiving, at least for me, has been something that I celebrate with my family, usually at home. Usually we gather with a little bit of like extended family.
Yeah.
There's usually some football involved.
Are you watching it or are you playing it?
Oh, we are playing it.
Oh, nice.
But this year it was not like that. So the closest thing I had to being with my family was a FaceTime call. Because that is true. It was better than nothing. And I was surprised. So I really enjoyed it, and I was surprised at how natural it felt, because it was this feeling of just like sitting around a table and gathering with people and saying what you're thankful for was so similar, like regardless of who I was with, that I still got like the same holiday vibe, even though it was maybe not what it traditionally would have been. But what was your experience of Thanksgiving?
Well, I had to kind of, I mean, not the same, because I'm, you know, with my family right now at my house. So it was cool to be able to, you know, like be together. We do the same thing where it's like our whole extended family gets together and we have like this huge dinner. It's, you know, a ton of people. And so it was kind of weird not doing that. And just knowing that we're all kind of like in the same city, but we're not in the same area.
Yeah.
It was weird, and you know, like I miss my family. I do. So it was kind of bumming me out, you know, but we made the most of it. I got to help my mom cook. I mean, she definitely took most of it because I can't. But yeah, no, it was very interesting. I, you know, just like being in this environment of together but then apart is really tripping me out, because we have contact with, you know, like the family and other people, but it's not the same, and I'm not getting used to that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I know other people that were just home alone for Thanksgiving or in their dorm alone for Thanksgiving. So I thought that was crazy. Yeah, I don't know. It was a weird experience, but it was really nice and really low key. So after,
Yeah.
like the few weeks that we've had, it was nice to just kind of relax and eat dinner at home.
Yeah.
We got so beyond stuffed, which is amazing. Like a good representation of the holiday.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, anyway, I liked it. It was cool. Again, weird, but cool.
Yeah, I do love a low-key holiday. In fact, that's the only kind of holiday that I think I really like.
It takes a lot of like emotional energy and physical energy to pull off like a huge family event. So I
Holidays
wasn't.
are draining.
Yeah, especially when
And
it's like,
lovely. But
no, and don't get me wrong, it's a very unique experience where you're looking forward to it, but then you're dreading it. I
yeah.
talked to my boss the other day, and I'm like, I'm glad that I won't have to do the meditation and the grounding before the the dinner. It's my immediate family, so there's not going to be anything like too
Yeah.
crazy about it,
Yeah. In terms of like celebrating in different ways than we normally would, I sort of I feel like the natural thing is to be sort of like upset or like disappointed, that we can't be with the people who we
Yeah.
want to be with, and sort of be like, I don't want to say pessimistic, but like be down in the dumps about it. And I know a lot of people who like have been, but I
Yeah.
am going to be obnoxious and try and find a silver lining in this. And then I think it's like providing us the opportunity, or at least for me personally, I'm going to speak in I statements because I think that's the only way to do this. But I feel like for me, it's allowed me to like deepen like connections and like relationships that otherwise I definitely wouldn't have, because like I was so just like, oh, I always celebrate with my family and that's what it is.
Right.
But
Yeah.
like having the opportunity to like explore other ways of celebrating, other people who you might want to celebrate, and places to celebrate and that kind of thing. And I think that's really special, and like expanding and deepening your relationships with other people who you might not
Yeah.
normally.
Yeah, I definitely think that that's true, and don't get me wrong, it's really sad, especially because I have a really younger brother. He's only 11,
Yeah.
and he's really depressed about everything. I mean, he had like multiple breakdowns through this whole thing where like it started off, I want to go back to school, and then being like really stressed out about that, and then not wanting to go to online school, then being really stressed out about that. Halloween hit him super hard because it's a very kid thing.
Yeah.
I say that being one of the like the biggest Halloween fans in the world. And then Thanksgiving, he was kind of like, okay, we got this, but only because he thought that by the time Christmas comes, it's going to be good, which is definitely not going to be the case. And I hate to be like what you said, the pessimist, but I mean, unless a huge miracle happens, that's not going to be the case. So it is really sad seeing him so beyond depressed. And my dad had a conversation with him today because he asked about like a Christmas party, and he's like, I don't think that's going to happen. And he got really bummed out. So, like being on that side of like the reactions, it's really bumming me out.
Yeah.
Again, I mean, I appreciate low-key holidays, so it's not going to kill me, but seeing him and his cute little self being so sad about it is really bumming me out. More so than, me being bummed out about the event.
Yeah.
But I think you're 100% right in the way where it's like, we have these other connections now. I mean, like all throughout Thanksgiving, I was texting one of my cousins who, I spent Thanksgiving with, and she was like, hey, how's the dinner going? And we sent each other like food pics, and I don't text her a lot, and so it was kind of fun to get that message from her and be like, oh, like, see, she thought of me. The day before Thanksgiving, I actually went around to all my family members' house and I gave them like a little pie or something, like dropped it off just to be like,
That's so sweet.
And so that, having that connection, it made me feel really special. One of my aunts was like incredibly surprised. I mean, everyone was very surprised, but, like very like blown away and like, oh my God, I miss seeing you. And so that was fun. And that was a different experience. And I mean, I wouldn't have gotten that any other Thanksgiving. And I thought that was really special, finding different ways.
Yeah. Did you guys do any like Zoom calls or FaceTime calls with your extended family to sort of like check in or anything?
So we have, I mean, so it's kind of funny. So my dad, he sends out like every morning a mantra thing. He has this like app where it's like daily like mantras or whatever it is, right? Daily doses of like inspiration. So he sends that to like the whole family. It started with just us, and then the cousins heard about it and we're like, hey, we want to get in on it. So it's this thing, right? And so in that group chat, we were talking a lot. And, we got the messages from like the aunts and the uncles and, just like, oh, love you guys. Hope you have a good Thanksgiving, So we were connected that way. We had tried to do like a Zoom thing for Easter. And there were like connection problems. It was kind of like not as fun as we thought it would be. So I don't think anybody tried this year for Thanksgiving. But I mean, we were still connected technologically, I guess. I know that you guys were able to do a Zoom call. How was that, just being able to connect like that?
It's great in some ways, and then it's also sometimes like makes me really sad in others. So even just my immediate family, like my parents and my siblings are spread out. I mean, they're split in California between like the Bay Area and Los Angeles, and then of course I'm in the UK. And so we try and check in every couple weeks with like a family Zoom call. And it's nice. It's like lovely to see everyone's face, and it's sort of like, oh, well, at least we're together on my screen.
You're like, you guys are so small.
Yeah. But sometimes it's just like, it's hard. Sometimes I feel like I'm watching like a TV show of my own family on Zoom.
Yeah.
And it's not the same.
It's not the same, and especially me, but my entire family, we're all very, very physical, we have a very like physical love language where we hug and, we're very, not touchy where it's like weird, but like we're very huggy. I was gonna say touchy, but that sounded a little weird. So we're very, very, like physically loving and so even like seeing them from afar, even if we are in person, but like dropping something off, or I don't know. It's really weird not to go in for a hug or, do anything like that. So yeah, no, I totally get it with Zoom. It's like, I want to hug you, but like, I'm going to hug my laptop.
Yeah.
How's that going to work?
And then it just doesn't chalk up to like what you thought it was going to be. Like, I feel like Zoom or like video chatting is like everyone's like, oh, it's so great. But like my parents are trying to set up a call with me and my great uncle, and I'm like, he's deaf. This isn't going to work. Like, he's just going to get to see my face, but that's it. Yeah.
And then you have like the older generation with their angles, and it's just like, hi, which, I'm not blaming them or making fun of them in any way, but it's a generational thing. I have people at work sometimes where it's like, oh, like maybe scoot the camera back or, like, so it totally is a generational thing. And it's funny because then that like takes away from the personal aspect too, because I wasn't used to looking up your nose before.
Yeah. I've never said hi to you and all of your nose hairs. Like,
so yeah, no, it's a weird time.
I feel that way with some of my online lectures. Sometimes they'll be teaching and they're just like completely backlit and the camera's like under their face. I'm like, oh, why didn't they give you a training on this? Like,
no, none of the professors, I think, got any sort of, support with this.
No one told them about ring lights.
Yeah. Well, and then I have like professors with a ton of connection issues, and I'm the type of person with a ton of connection issues because my house, we're kind of in like the foothills of San Jose, so like the connection varies. It's either amazing or it's like horrible.
Yeah.
And so, like the connection problems are just insane, you know?
I think that's pretty universal. Like
Yeah.
we had to put in a Wi-Fi extender in our house, or a
Yeah.
signal booster, something, but I installed it. I felt so empowered after I did that. I was like, I can solve all of the world's problems because I can fix the Wi-Fi in my house.
Man, we got, you're like, we were just like, I restored,
Yeah.
I could do this for a living, and it's a very mundane thing.
I mean, that is how I felt, but whether or not that's accurate.
I went to Home Depot the other day and I was like, this is amazing. I'm an adult. I'm getting tools and supplies. I don't need help. I got it. And you know what it was for? It was for a flower presser to get flowers. But still, I was like, look at, I just walked by the lighting fixtures. Look at me, I'm an adult,
Yeah, I just passed bolts and pipes, and
I know what that means.
Yeah. No, I totally get that.
I was at one point, I went down like the tile aisle for no reason, and I was just like, no, I really like that tile. That's a great tile, and everyone was just like walking by me. And of course, like no one knew what a flower presser was at Home Depot. I had to get my wood cut, from the guy, and he was just like, wait, like explain to me what this is again, So again, we're off topic now, but
that's a quarantine activity, is flower pressing, I feel like.
Well, especially when you're going on so many walks and you want to like collect the flowers.
Yeah.
And I like making the jewelry, so I was like, oh, that'd be cute to put. I still haven't figured out how I'm gonna work with it, but like scrapbooking, I don't know.
Yeah, I think you had a pair of, this is weird, but I feel like you posted a picture where you had a pair of earrings on. They were like laminated flowers.
They were pressed.
Okay.
Yeah. Very, very simple. I figured out how to do it with that flower, but that's a very specific flower. But yeah, no, I made jewelry out of pressed flowers, so
it looks very cool.
Home Depot. Or like I do, if I'm writing like notes, I do the wax seal. So having like a cute pressed flower and then the wax seal, because I need to find every different way to be extra about everything, I mean,
I love that.
You've but yeah, so back to connection issues. We don't have ADHD whatsoever.
Sorry.
We're thriving.
We'll edit out some of this laughing. No one needs a 2-minute interlude of us just like cracking up.
Though.
Yeah, maybe it's therapeutic for some people to listen to. It's like ASMR for somebody to just have us cackling.
I know, and I don't have like the most attractive laugh at all.
Oh, me neither. Not when I'm genuinely laughing. When I'm actually laughing, it is not good. But I have like a polite like princess laugh. But
I'm trying to do like the podcast voice and laugh. Believe it or not, this is me trying to be dainty and stuff. But yeah, I cackle.
Oh no, fuck dainty. That is not. Yeah. We don't do dainty on this podcast.
I go like full on snort, in under 5 seconds. Usually. We'll see if that, pops in, and we'll leave it.
We'll turn up the sound on that. We'll make it extra. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
So, this is not going to be a smooth transition at all, but besides like Zoom holidays and like another big thing that's impacting our lives is having school remotely, or remote for the most part. And how
complete
has that
shit.
I'm sorry. I was just gonna say, how has that been for you? But you had it answered.
You didn't leave me any like. You left me a little bit of room, so I took it, and in hindsight I shouldn't have, and maybe I should have answered that quickly and abruptly, but we're here.
In case the recording didn't get it, she said complete shit.
One more time for the people in the back. No. No, it's absolutely horrible. And as you all probably have figured this out, I don't have a short attention span. So being in my room, especially with all like this different stuff, it's like, oh, fun plant, you know, or like, oh, I have a whole bottle of like fun novelty pens. So this isn't helping my I'm showing this to the camera for the people listening on Spotify and iTunes, but I have at least 5 of these pens, and then on the other side I have another 4. I also have different, you know, plants. I have 2 Venus flytraps in this one. Oh, you want to see something that someone with ADHD shouldn't have? A bell. You know, I don't know why that's there. I'm gonna be really honest with you. I'm sorry. I also have my fun friend, Dr. Squeakum McNutt,
Yes.
who's a pen holder, and he's shaped as a chipmunk. Also, shout out to my mom who thought that this wasn't worth buying. But yeah, no, it's absolutely horrible. It's absolutely horrible.
Tour.
I know. Yeah. Well, if you really are interested, because I have 50 more things, you know, to go through. And I'm not even talking about like my recording equipment. And then I have like my makeup desk on the side of my school desk.
I feel like we need to do, but only for YouTube, desk tours now, but only for YouTube.
Yeah,
we bonus content.
You know, I think that might be. Oh, I also have a pumpkin that I paint. I drew a smiley face on because when I'm going really crazy, I used to talk to him, and I was like, might as well have a little smiley face. So, yeah, back to my point on my distraction. You know, it's absolute nonsense to have to sit in like 12 hours of classes and just have this like back to back. And I mean, as I think we've said our majors before, but I'm a music major, and so we have like very technical classes and then very like educational classes where it's like harmony music, you know, theory and stuff like that. But then we have like the vocal classes, which is amazing because there's not like a good place to put my laptop so that I'm standing or I'm in like singing position. It's horrible. You know, like nothing about it is fun at all. I'm in 2 different choirs this year. Ask me how I'm doing that. It's not working out for me.
You know, I mean, even just like technically, because there's just a delay online. So how does it work?
We don't sing together. We have to do recordings. And as we know, I'm not a music tech major. So my dad actually bought me like a really nice Rode microphone and like stand and everything. But it took me like a week to figure out how to connect everything, you know? Yeah. And even then, it's horrible. And, you know, like we have to submit recordings every few days. And I like everything about online school is the worst. And, you know, like adding to like the distraction, you have your phone there. And, you know, it's like, even if I shut my phone off and I'm like, I'm going to be good this period, I'm going to be like, great. And I'm not going to look at my phone. It always ends up that I look at my phone, you know? And then, you know, just like sitting online for multiple hours and then having to do homework right after for then another multiple hours seems very, very horrible to me. So then I end up like procrastinating the work for another day when I'm not online all day, you know? So it's just like this endless cycle of I don't want to be on the computer for too long, but my entire education is on the computer, so I have to, you know?
Yeah. And I feel like teachers are well, and teachers are always like I don't want to stress you out, like take it easy. Remember to take care of your mental health. Also, here's a load of work for you.
Yeah.
But remember your mental health.
It's crazy because they're putting up so much work and so many assignments and so many different projects that it's insane to me, because it's like, do you think we don't have a life because we're in a pandemic? I have work still, you know, I have work so that I could afford this private school tuition, you know, but you're going to make my hours you just be like 5 pages and then 8 different recordings that I need to do this week, you know? And
How
then
many
it's horrible because it's just like, oh my God.
how many hours of class do you have every week, like approximately?
It depends because so on Mondays I have the morning pretty much free, but then the entire afternoon until my choir rehearsals 4 to 6. So the entire afternoon to like 6:10 in the evening is all class. So that's from like that's like a solid 6 hours, you know, on Mondays. On Tuesdays, I have classes from 8 to 4, like straight. And then on Wednesdays is my free day where I have just like one morning class and then one evening class, but then everything in between is work, right? That's the day that I go in. On Thursdays, it's the same as Tuesdays, which is 8 to 4, which is amazing. 10 out of 10 would recommend. Not. I'm being very sarcastic.
Half a star on Yelp.
Yeah, half a star on Yelp. And then on Fridays, I have classes from 7 to like 12 and then work. So it's like, I don't know. I can't even like math that right now.
That's a lot of hours.
That's a lot of hours online and then plus all the assignments, you know. Which they've gone ham with assignments this semester, so there's no shortage there, you know.
Yeah, I've been hearing that a lot from friends, is that because I'm not sure it's the same case. I don't think it's the same for me, but a lot of people are saying that because they're not having in-person lecturers are like making up for it by being like, oh, you have extra time, so we're going to give you more work to make up for whatever you're going to get in person, which I don't think is how it's actually the reality of that. But my experience of online class has been very different, because even just schedule-wise, I only have about 6 hours class content a week. Yeah, and well, that's the thing, actually. It's really hard for me because like 2 hours of those are recorded lectures, and then I have one 2-hour in-person lecture. So actually, I don't know where I came up with the other 2 hours. Oh, I have seminars and stuff. Right, okay. But the rest of that is all independent study and reading time, which is great to an extent. I mean, we're expected to do a lot of independent research and stuff in my specific degree. But I have a very hard time staying motivated and focused when there aren't classes to sort of break up my time and keep me on track. So, you know, 2 days a week, I have no classes, and I have such a hard time like staying in touch, especially because like some of our libraries are open, but it's not like a great study environment right now because, you know, you have to wear a mask and you're in a shielded area and everything.
Yeah, forget that, you know, like you'd rather just do it at home, where then you get distracted at home, you know. There's no perfect, you know, like border, you know, or like equal ground in this situation. You're not gonna win this time.
And it's hard. Like, I can't imagine like being a lecturer and having to give a lecture to just like a bunch of, because no one has their cameras on in their classes, and just like an empty screen. I'm like, I would quit my job. I would not have the motivation.
No, it's annoying. And so I, like, through my work, I did like a music class before COVID. And I mean, you know this, I think I've told you this, but when COVID hit, we just like stopped all the programs automatically, as one had to. And I tried to get my kids to go on to Zoom like the first week of it, right? And be like, oh, like we'll just keep going, because we thought it was like 3 weeks, remember?
Oh God. We were so naive and innocent in March.
I see you guys in 3 weeks. So it's going to be a fun spring break for us. But yeah, so I try to get my kids to go on Zoom, and the age range was like from 2 to 13. So there's, you know, like a ton of people. And so we try to get them. First of all, we only started off with like max 6 kids, you know, where usually in that program, it was like 40 kids every week. So, and then I was getting paused in real life. Like, some of the kids were like, oh, pause. And I was like, no, I'm not a video. You can't do that. this is live. And they were like, what? So, and then most of them had their cameras off. So yeah, it's horrible. You're just like speaking into a void, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's
Would
rough.
you like to add anything?
I don't know. I think I am just an optimistic person, and I always want there to be like a twist of like, but actually technology is saving the world. But I don't feel like that right now. I mean, okay, think about this. This
Maybe
is
in
cool.
a few years.
Yeah. But like this is like, okay, technology, and like we're able to record this podcast remotely on 2 different continents together. It's 8 hours time difference. And like that is a cool thing that I am appreciating.
That's true. I'll give you that. I'll give you that, but that's it.
Yeah.
Know?
No more optimism,
That's
Maren. That's it. We're cutting you off.
Yeah. We're cutting you off. You can't be, what do the people call it? The devil's advocate, where it's like, oh, but what about this? No. You will not do this anymore. Like, I'm being pessimistic and bitter on my own.
Oh, sorry. No, I would never want to be the devil's advocate. That's such a jackass position.
It is.
It's like, here, I'm going to say really offensive things, but I'm just advocating for the devil, so it's okay.
There was a kid in my high school that was like, and he said this, and I quote, I'm going to be the devil's advocate here for a second, but Nazis really helped Germany's economy. And then, so
That's
that
also
being
just not true.
It isn't,
it's not correct.
No, but it was great because I'm like, so you're trying to hide the fact that you're a Nazi by being like, but devil's advocate,
Yeah.
or you're a
like,
Nazi.
Yeah, it's like someone says, like, they're like, oh, like, I'm not homophobic, but, or like, no offense, but, I'm like, that's literally just like saying, I'm about to be super offensive, but I don't want you to take me too seriously, but I'm going to say the thing anyway.
It's just like, prepare yourself for being offended.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, we got off topic there. We need like a little like bell to chime when we go off topic and remind us, like steer us back. Yeah, exactly.
That's what this was for. Yeah. My mom always said that everything is for a reason. So
that's what the bell is for.
Found it. That was you like tingling every like 5 seconds. So this is gonna be a fun
in
little,
our next episode. Stay tuned for our 3rd member of the podcast, the bell.
I know. Zea Time Chat featuring the bell. That's amazing. On that note.
Oh, okay, go. You go.
No, go ahead. I was like literally just trying to end it.
Yeah, I was just asking if you had any final thoughts.
Well, final thoughts for me is, just like hang in there, everyone. After my rant of like just constant bitterness and pessimism, hang in there. I mean, I've tried to find hobbies, through it all. And that's probably like the biggest piece of advice I could give anybody in this situation is like, find the weirdest, most grandma craft, and then just put your heart and soul into it. I mean, I've always crocheted, but I've gotten really into crocheting. I saw one person on TikTok doing the bobbin lace thing, so I got a kit, and so now I'm doing the bobbin lace. So yeah, again, find the most like cottagecore grandma thing you could possibly think of, and then just again put your heart and soul into it and wait until the vaccine. What about you, Mary?
Well, I mean, in terms of like what's keeping me like sane and positive are one, audiobooks. I've listened to so many audiobooks just because sometimes like television just like doesn't cut it, and I just need to like I need to listen to something, but I'm not motivated enough to sit down and read, and so audiobooks. And second, I know everyone's sick of hearing about it, but exercise is like what's keeping me alive right now.
No. Oh no.
Anyone who knows me knows that I'm a spastic 5-year-old who needs to be like taken out to exercise. I'm like a puppy that way.
You started off the podcast as a devil advocate, and now you're ending being the one health nut that everyone hates. Congratulations.
I ate a cupcake for breakfast today. Does that redeem me?
Yes. Okay. You are official. I'll give you that one.
Okay. And with that, thank you for listening. We hope you're doing well. If you have thoughts about online, like remote holidays or Zoom or online classes, whatever grade you're in, we'd love to hear it. So wherever you're listening/watching, let us know, comment, and also, subscribe, like, whatever the appropriate term is for the channel you're watching.
Yeah. I mean, and not just that, but comment what you guys are doing to pass the time. I'm always looking for something. A friend of mine from my high school recommended K-dramas. So, I'm into that too. I mean, besides Say Yes to the Dress, I don't recommend Say Yes to the Dress if you're single like me, because then you're like in this weird cycle of, well, I know everything for my wedding, but I just don't, I'm like lonely and single. So maybe, like fine. But yeah, okay, going back on topic. Let us know your hobbies. Let us know, like, what weird grandma craft have you been getting into the past few months? And yeah, just let us know.
And there was one more thing. Tune in to our next episode. We're not sure when we're going to release it, but it will be out. It is talking about cancel culture. So important.
Eventually it'll be out.
Yeah, eventually. Before Christmas, probably.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks.
No, I'm 100%.
Catch you next time.